The sun hung low over the bustling marketplace of Zorath Prime, painting the dusty streets in orange and red hues. Traders shouted from every corner, selling alien foods, strange gadgets, and creatures that looked like they came from another universe. Among the chaos, a young human trader named Kalen walked slowly, scanning the crowd with cautious eyes. He had always been careful with his money and choices, but today something unusual caught his attention. Near the edge of the marketplace, hidden behind stacks of glowing crates, was a small cage. Inside, a peculiar alien girl squirmed, her skin a dull green with patches of dark scales. Her eyes were large and round, shimmering like polished stones, and a strange odor hung around her, making nearby shoppers wrinkle their noses. The sign above read simply, "Alien Slave, $5. Laughter echoed from a group of traders nearby, mocking the tiny creature. $5. She smells worse than a mud swamp, one shouted, and the others joined in, gearing. Kalen hesitated, unsure why he felt drawn to her. Something about her eyes seemed different, almost intelligent, almost aware. Despite the warnings of the other traders and the risks of buying a slave, Kalen reached into his pouch and pulled out 5 credits. The group of bullies stopped laughing as he placed the coins on the counter. The alien girl tilted her head, watching him silently, and for a moment, it felt like she understood his choice. The trader in charge smirked. "You really want her? She's not clean, not trained, and she's your responsibility now." Kalen nodded, ignoring the jeers, and the cage unlocked with a heavy click. The alien stepped out slowly, her small body tense, and she sniffed the air like a predator sizing up her new environment. Kalen offered a hand, and after a pause, she hesitantly touched it. The moment was strange, almost magical, as if an invisible bond had formed between them. Kalen knew he had bought a slave, but something told him this girl was not ordinary. He led her away from the marketplace, the crowd still whispering and pointing as they walked through the streets. Kalen felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. This was not just a purchase, it was a life he had taken into his hands. The alien girl stayed silent, observing everything around her with sharp, curious eyes. Every shadow, every movement seemed to fascinate her, making Kalen feel uneasy, but also intrigued. Later, when they reached his small home on the edge of the city, Kalen prepared a simple meal for her, watching as she sniffed the food suspiciously before trying a tiny bite. Her reaction was unexpected, a soft hum of approval, and Kalen felt a strange warmth in his chest. Could a slave and master really understand each other? Could trust grow where there was none before? Night fell over Zorath Prime, and the alien girl sat quietly in the corner, watching Kalen as he arranged his belongings. He kept thinking about the marketplace, the laughter, and the strange connection they had shared. Something told him this was only the beginning of an adventure, one that would change both of their lives forever. Outside, the wind carried distant sounds of other traders, of alien creatures calling to each other, and Kalen wondered what secrets this small, strange girl held. He had bought her for $5, but already he realized her value could not be measured in coins. The real story was about to begin, and neither of them knew how far it would go. The morning light filtered through the dusty windows of Kalen's small home, casting long shadows across the floor. The alien girl, still quiet and cautious, examined every corner of the room, her large eyes reflecting both fear and curiosity. Kalen watched her carefully, unsure how to start a conversation with someone who spoke so little. He tried offering small gestures of kindness, a warm drink, a soft tone, but she kept her distance, her body tensed like a predator ready to flee. Even simple acts, like sitting near her or speaking gently, made her flinch. Kalen realized he had never dealt with an alien so different, so wary of humans. Days passed slowly, each one filled with awkward silences, attempts to communicate, and small discoveries about each other. Kalen noticed that she understood more than she let on. She would follow his gestures, mimic his actions, and sometimes, just sometimes, she would hum softly, a sound that made him feel like he had glimpsed her true nature. One afternoon, Kalen decided it was time to introduce her to the reality of their forced marriage. He explained that they were bound by law and tradition on Zorath Prime, that she must live with him as his wife. The alien girl's eyes widened, and she stiffened, as if the words were a blade cutting through her small frame. I do not understand," she said slowly, her voice low and uncertain. Kalen nodded, realizing this was the start of a journey he could not rush. He tried again, explaining gently that while she had been bought for $5, her value was more than money, that respect and understanding were part of this life now. Despite his words, tension filled the house. Every sound seemed to startle her. Every movement from Kaylin was met with suspicion. Yet, beneath the fear, there was something else, a spark of curiosity that grew each day. She began to mimic his small routines, cleaning, arranging food, even attempting to speak more clearly. One evening, while Kaylin was repairing a small communication device, a sudden crash outside startled them both. A group of local thieves had broken into the nearby alley, and one of them charged toward the house. The alien girl acted before Kaylin could move, leaping with agility he did not expect, and knocked the intruder aside. Kaylin watched in awe, heart pounding, as the stinking alien girl showed strength, courage, and intelligence. Something shifted in that moment, a change in perception. He realized she was no ordinary slave. She was capable, clever, and perhaps a partner in ways he had never imagined. That night, after the danger passed, they sat quietly together, the alien girl no longer entirely tense, but alert, watching him with those strange, intelligent eyes. Kaylin felt a strange warmth, a connection forming slowly between them. It was fragile, unspoken, but it was there, growing with every shared moment. Outside, the city lights flickered, and the wind carried whispers of other traders and strange creatures. Kaylin knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but for the first time, he felt hope. Hope that their forced marriage could turn into something more. That the alien girl he had bought for $5 might one day become more than just a companion. She might become the heart of his life. Days turned into weeks, and life in Kaylin's small home slowly settled into a rhythm. The alien girl, still cautious, began to show glimpses of her true personality. Small smiles, quiet laughter, and moments of curiosity that surprised Kaylin. He noticed that she was learning human ways quickly, yet she retained the grace and strength of her own species. Together, they started exploring the outskirts of Zorath Prime, where danger and mystery hid in every corner. Traders and bounty hunters roamed, and alien creatures prowled the strange landscapes. Kaylin taught her how to navigate the city safely, how to watch for danger, and she taught him things he could never learn from a book, like how to sense a predator before it attacked. One evening, while crossing a dimly lit alley, they were ambushed by a small gang of thieves. Kaylin drew his weapon, but before he could act, the alien girl leaped forward with speed and skill he had not expected. She fought with precision, using movements that seemed almost instinctive, and soon the attackers were on the ground. Groaning and defeated, Kaylin stared at her, astonished, his heart racing. "You're amazing," he whispered, and she looked at him with a mixture of pride and shyness. That night, they shared a quiet meal, the bond between them growing stronger. Neither spoke much, but every glance, every gesture, communicated understanding and trust. Over time, they discovered more about each other's worlds. The alien girl sharing stories of her home planet, its strange customs and dangerous creatures. Kaylin told her about life among humans, about traders and adventures. Slowly, laughter replaced fear in their home, and moments of quiet companionship became moments of joy. One day, while practicing basic combat and survival skills outside the city, Kaylin realized something that surprised him. He looked at the alien girl and saw not a slave, not a stranger, but someone he depended on, someone who had become a partner in every sense. The way she moved, thought, and cared made him feel a warmth in his chest he had never known. Their connection grew deeper as they faced small dangers together. The alien girl showing ingenuity and bravery, Kaylin showing patience and respect. Neither could deny that a bond had formed, one that was stronger than fear, stronger than money or laws, and it was a bond that hinted at something more profound, something that might turn forced duty into true companionship. Evenings became their time to share thoughts, dreams, and quiet moments. The alien girl would hum softly, and Kaylin would respond with a gentle smile, neither speaking much, but feeling everything. It was a new kind of relationship, one built on trust, understanding, and growing affection. Outside, the city buzzed with life, yet in Kaylin's home, a new world was forming, a world where two very different beings learned to see each other as equals, as partners, as perhaps friends, and more. Kaylin understood that their journey had just begun, and the future held challenges, adventures, and emotions neither of them could have predicted. The sun dipped low, casting long shadows across the outskirts of Zorath Prime. Kaylin and the alien girl walked carefully through a narrow canyon, aware that bounty hunters often used this path to ambush travelers. The air was thick with tension, every sound amplified, every movement suspicious. Suddenly, a group of heavily armed hunters appeared from the shadows, their weapons aimed directly at them. Kaylin's heart raced, and he glanced at the alien girl, expecting fear, but she stood tall, her eyes sharp, her body poised, ready to act. She moved with speed and precision, disarming one hunter before he could fire, and using a series of clever maneuvers to take down the rest. Kaylin could hardly believe what he was witnessing. You saved us," he exclaimed, but she only nodded, calm and focused. This moment changed everything. Kaylin realized that she was not only brave, but brilliant in strategy, a partner in survival, not just a slave or companion. After the hunters fled, Kaylin and the alien girl found shelter in a small cave, exhaustion heavy on both of them. As they sat in silence, Kaylin felt a strange shift in his heart. Admiration and respect had grown into something deeper, something he had not expected from a forced marriage. He looked at her, noticing the way her eyes reflected the flickering light, and he felt a warmth that went beyond gratitude. The alien girl, too, seemed different. Her usual caution was replaced by a quiet confidence, and for the first time, she smiled fully, a smile that spoke of trust and connection. They shared a simple meal, and neither needed many words. The experience of danger had bound them together in a way nothing else could. Over the following days, Kaylin noticed how their teamwork improved. They moved together, understood each other's gestures, and even shared silent signals that communicated plans without speaking. Every challenge made their bond stronger, and Kaylin realized that this partnership was something neither of them had chosen, yet both had come to need. One evening, as they rested after a long day of travel, Kaylin finally spoke. "I never imagined that buying you would lead to this connection," he said softly. The alien girl looked at him, her expression unreadable at first. Then a gentle hum escaped her, a sound that felt like agreement. That night, under the strange glow of Zorath Prime's twin moons, Kaylin understood the truth. Their forced marriage had become something far more profound, built on trust, respect, and shared survival. The alien girl was no longer just a slave, and he was no longer just a master. They were partners, allies, and perhaps something more. Outside, the wind carried distant sounds of the planet, creatures calling to each other, traders moving along the paths. Yet inside their small shelter, a new world existed, one of understanding, courage, and a bond forged in fire. Kaylin knew that the real test was yet to come, and that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. The morning sun rose over Zorath Prime, painting the sky with shades of pink and gold. Kaylin and the alien girl prepared to leave their small shelter. A new day brought new challenges, but also a sense of calm and understanding that had grown between them over time. As they traveled through the outskirts of the city, a sudden threat appeared. A massive alien predator blocked their path, its claws, sharp eyes glowing with hunger. Kaylin drew his weapon, but before he could act, the alien girl stepped forward, calm and confident. Using her agility and strength, she distracted the creature long enough for Kaylin to strike safely. Together, they defeated the predator, and the victory was more than physical. It was a testament to their teamwork, trust, and bond. After the battle, they found a quiet hill overlooking the city. Exhausted but alive, they sat together, watching the twin suns set. Kaylin looked at the alien girl and realized how much she had changed his life. Her courage, intelligence, and kindness had turned fear and duty into respect and love. He smiled softly, and she returned the smile, a gentle hum escaping her lips. "You've shown me a world I never knew," Kaylin said, his voice full of emotion, "a world of trust, friendship, and love." The alien girl tilted her head, and for the first time, she spoke more clearly. I feel the same," she said softly, and Kaylin felt a warmth spread through his chest. Days passed, and the bond between them grew stronger. They explored the city together, faced dangers, and learned about each other's cultures. The alien girl no longer hid in fear, and Kaylin no longer treated her as a slave. They were equals, partners, and friends, and slowly, their partnership blossomed into love. One evening, back at their home, Kaylin prepared a small meal, and they ate together, laughing quietly, sharing stories and simple moments. They realized that their journey had brought them more than survival. It had brought them connection, trust, an understanding that no money could ever buy. The alien girl leaned close to Kalen, and for the first time, he felt complete, as if their lives had always been meant to intertwine. Outside, Zorath Prime thrived with life. But inside their small home, a new story had begun. The story of a forced marriage that had grown into a partnership, of a $5 slave who had become the love of a human trader's life. And though challenges would come again, Kalen knew they would face them together, stronger, braver, and bound by a love beyond price. As night fell, they sat side by side, watching the stars of 1,000 worlds shine above, and in that moment, Kalen understood that their journey was not just about survival or adventure. It was about finding connection where none was expected, about love born from courage and trust, and about the extraordinary bond between a human and an alien.